वक्रतुण्ड महाकाय सूर्यकोटि समप्रभा निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा वक्रतुण्ड महाकाय सूर्यकोटि समप्रभा.
Welcome to the 38th year of Bhajanawali broadcast, directed and hosted by Shri Gyan Rajhans. Bhajanawali is a spiritual broadcast consisting of English discourses, Hindi pravachan, Gyan Gita, and melodious bhajans. Bhajanawali is supported only by your individual donations, which are tax deductible in Canada. Donations can be made online and donation receipts can be obtained instantly. भजनावली के 38वें वर्ष के प्रसारण में आपका स्वागत है। हमारे प्रसारण में आप अंग्रेजी और हिंदी प्रवचनों, मधुर भजनों और ज्ञान गीता के श्लोकों की व्याख्याएं सुनते हैं। कृपया हमें दान देना न भूलें, क्योंकि हमारा सारा प्रसारण विज्ञापन रहित है। अब आप ऑनलाइन डोनेशंस भी कर सकते हैं, जिसकी टैक्स डिडक्टिबल रिसीट आपको तुरंत मिल सकती है। धन्यवाद. Now, here is your host, Shri Gyan Rajhans.
Thank you, Shalini. Dear worldwide devotees of Bhajanawali, Saturday, October the 27th is Karwa Chauth, a ritual of strict fasting, that is, not taking even a drop of water for the entire day until the moon rise, and this is observed by the Hindu married women for the longevity, well-being and prosperity of their husbands. Since it's a very difficult fast, hence the time of moon rise is very important that day, for especially the place where the fast is being observed. So please note down the exact time of moonrise in the Greater Toronto area, and that is 8:37 p.m. That is, in the evening, 37 minutes past 8 p.m. However, I'm very sorry, I do not have the information of moonrise time in other cities or countries, for which you must consult your local daily newspaper or almanac. For Toronto men and women, and I'm saying men because these days a lot of men also do the fast along with their wives. So for them observing the Karwa Chauth fast, please note the fast can be broken in the Greater Toronto area after 8:37 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, regardless of whether you can see the moon due to the clouds. Now then, on this pious occasion of Karwa Chauth, what am I going to talk about today? Today I wish to talk about whether the Karwa Chauth is still relevant in modern times for the Hindu women. I would also touch on the ideals of Hindu marriage. And time permitting, I may talk about the 7 vows that the Hindus take during their weddings. Let me also inform you, please pay attention, that if you wish to hear the entire Karwa Chauth Katha in Sanskrit and Hindi narrated by me, then you must follow the link given on the screen. It is available now, and the link, when copied and clicked, the entire katha can be heard. तो भजनावली के विश्वव्यापी श्रोताओं, आगामी शनिवार 27 अक्टूबर हिंदू विवाहित नारियों के लिए उनका सर्वाधिक कठिन निर्जला करवा चौथ व्रत है, जो वे श्रद्धा से अपने पतियों की दीर्घ आयु एवं संपन्न जीवन के लिए करती हैं। इस पावन पर्व पर आज आप करवा चौथ एवं हिंदू विवाह संबंधित बहुत सारी बातें अंग्रेजी और हिंदी में सुनेंगे। संपूर्ण करवा चौथ कथा संस्कृत और हिंदी में सुनने के लिए कृपया हमारा दूसरा विशेष प्रसारण सुनें, जिसका लिंक स्क्रीन पर दिया जा रहा है। इससे पहले कि मैं भूल जाऊं, टोरंटो महानगरी में करवा चौथ के दिन अर्थात आगामी शनिवार को चंद्रोदय शाम 8:37 पर होगा, जब आप अपना व्रत तोड़ सकते हैं, यदि चंद्रमा दिखाई न दे बादलों के कारण।
तो आइए, बातें बहुत हो गई। करवा चौथ के शुभ आगमन पर आज का यह विशेष प्रसारण आरंभ करें इस करवा चौथ भजन से।
पार्वती ने तप द्वारा भगवान शिव को पति रूप में प्राप्त किया। तब से लेकर आज तक नव यौवनाएं सुंदर वर हेतु भगवान शंकर का पूजन करती हैं और विवाहिताएं अपने जीवन साथी की लंबी आयु, स्वास्थ्य एवं समृद्धि के लिए भगवान शंकर का ध्यान करती हैं। पत्नी संपूर्ण निष्ठा एवं भक्ति से सारा दिन निर्जल उपवास करते हुए भगवान शंकर का पूजन करती है, अपने पति की आयु एवं समृद्धि के लिए। इसी पावन पर्व को कहते हैं करवा चौथ।
Now here is an excerpt from my article, Is Karwa Chauth Still Relevant? As I said at the outset, Karwa Chauth is a ritual of fasting observed by married Hindu women seeking the longevity, well-being and prosperity of their husbands. In Indian tradition, Karwa Chauth festival is considered as one of the most significant occasions that strengthens the sacred marital bond between husband and wife. For all Hindus, marriage is the most sacred bond of a lifetime. Hence, the festival, that is Karwa Chauth, is celebrated with so much of joy and enthusiasm among the married women. The question, however, is, why would Hindu women of modern era go through the penance of strict fast and not taking even a drop of water for the whole day for their husbands, knowing full well that the present-day Hindu husbands fail to recognize the sacrifices and lofty ideals of Hindu wives? During the nuptial ceremony in a Vedic marriage, both the bride and the bridegroom take oaths for the practice to work together for the welfare of the family and to help each other to attain long-lasting marriage. And by the way, you will hear those vows today also with English explanations. However, in my opinion, these days that oath is forgotten soon after the marriage, mainly because of the influence of Western culture, where individual freedom is so important that neither the husband nor the wife is willing to sacrifice it for long-lasting marriage. It should be a matter of great concern that we have begun to ignore the ancient and lofty ideals of Hindu marriage and are anxious to follow in the footsteps of cultures that do not value these ideals. Although Indians are among the most married societies in the world, the number of divorce suits filed by Hindu couples in India and abroad is on the rise. Instead of strengthening the traditional ideals, which for thousands of years have helped us prevent marriage and family breakups, we are misdirecting our energies towards promoting the ideal of sense enjoyment and self-interest. In my opinion, Karwa Chauth is the time of real introspection to find out if this Hindu ritual is becoming hypocritical.
Now, here is my co-host Shalini reading my two relevant articles on the occasion of Karwa Chauth.
The first one is Ideals of a Hindu Marriage by Shri Gyan Rajhans, as published on Hinduism.about.com. Why is a marriage sacrosanct? In Hinduism, man and woman represent the two halves of the divine body. There is no question of superiority or inferiority between them. However, it is a scientific fact that the emotional side is more developed in women. This does not mean that intellectually women are inferior. Hindu history is witnessed to the super women like Gargi, Maitri, and Suleba, whose faculty of reasoning was far superior to that of ordinary mortals. But owing to organic differences in their physical and emotional constitutions, women are temperamentally more emotional than men. Duties of a Hindu woman. Having recognized this fact, Hindu scriptures, Shastras, have allotted certain specific duties to Hindu women. These duties include maintaining domestic peace, adjustment of social relations, and attainment of spiritual perfection. The idea of marriage. The idea behind the institution of marriage in Hinduism is to foster not self-interest, but love for the entire family. Practice of self-restraint is the ideal of marriage in Hinduism. It is the love and duty cultivated for the entire family that prevents the breakups. Men by nature are less capable of self-restraint than women. That is why, after marriage, the Hindu women lead the men by keeping the lustful propensities under control. While married, thought of any other man does not enter the mind of a Hindu lady until she loses her faith in her husband due to his consistent misbehavior and don't care attitude. The sanctity of marriage. The present-day Hindu husbands fail to recognize the sacrifices and lofty ideals of Hindu wives, and thus compel them to follow the worst of the West. During the nuptial ceremony in a Vedic marriage, both the bride and the bridegroom take an oath for the practice of self-restraint, to work together for the welfare of the family, and to help each other to attain spiritual peace. This lofty ideal of sanctity is a great gift of Hinduism to the world at large. Protecting the institution. It should be a matter of great concern that we have begun to ignore the ancient and lofty ideals of Hindu marriage and are anxious to follow in the footsteps of cultures that do not value these ideals. No wonder the number of divorce suits filed by Hindu couples is on the rise. Instead of strengthening the traditional ideals which for thousands of years have helped us prevent marriage and family breakups, we are misdirecting our energies towards promoting the ideal of sense enjoyment and self-interest. It is still not too late to be proactive to protect the sanctity of Hindu marriage. This is the end of the first article by Shri Gyan Rajhans. You are listening to the only non-commercial weekly Vedic religion webcast supported by individual donations. आप सुन रहे हैं वैदिक धर्म का एकमात्र विज्ञापन रहित साप्ताहिक प्रसारण. Please remember, donations can be made online by visiting our homepage. Any donation, small or large, will help us continue this commercial-free webcast. यदि आपको हमारा प्रसारण पसंद है तो कृपया हमें दान देना न भूलें. अब आप ऑनलाइन डोनेशंस भी कर सकते हैं. आपका छोटा से छोटा दान भी हमारे लिए मूल्यवान साबित होगा. धन्यवाद. Now, the second article for Karwa Chauth. The 10 Commandments for a Successful Married Life by Shri Gyan Rajhans, available on www.bhajanawali.com. Immature love says, I love you because I need you. Mature love says, I need you because I love you. Now the commandments. First commandment is, love comes first. Physical love is good, but there has to be genuine spiritual love also in your heart. Your immediate neighbor is your own spouse, so let charity begin at home and set an example by loving your spouse first and foremost. Follow the scripture, love thy neighbor as thyself. Second, narrow the gulf. Whether it is a love marriage, arranged marriage, or forced marriage, differences are bound to arise. Both of you come from different backgrounds, upbringings, and environments. You must be ready to overlook the sharp differences, lapses, or shortcomings. Third, forgive and forget. Remember, to forgive is divine, and keep doing it, even if you have to repeat this process infinite times. Fourth, begin the day cool. Early in the morning, both spouses should try to remain calm and cool. No discussions or arguments in the early morning hours. 5th, silence can save. When you leave home for work in the morning, be at your best behavior. If one of you is provoked or complains, silence is the best answer. 6th, inquire and appreciate. After you return home, inquire and take interest in one another's activities during the day. How was your day? You must show your genuine appreciation and sympathy. Top it with a pleasant smile. 7th, listen and sympathize. Do listen to your spouse attentively and sympathetically. Never ignore. Even at your place of work, if you get a telephone call from your partner, be polite and courteous, in spite of your busy schedule. 8th, don't forget to compliment. Make use of thank you, well done, you have done a good job, and I am sorry, as frequently as is necessary. Be generous in your praise and compliments. 9th, don't compare. Do not enter into comparisons. No one is 100% perfect or 100% imperfect. We all have flaws and shortcomings. Always look at the good qualities of your spouse. 10th, keep smiling. Be cheerful and smile away your problems. Give a smile as often as you can. Only a human person is endowed with this blessing. Animals do not have this rare faculty. Did you know you use only 20 muscles for a smile, but 70 muscles for a frown? So keep smiling. This is the end of the article 10 Commandments for a Successful Married Life by Shri Gyan Rajhans, available on www.bhajanawali.com.
Now, let me elaborate on the Sapta-Padi vows. Remember the 7 circles of rice? The bridegroom asks the bride to step out and put her feet in all the circles one by one in order to enforce and strengthen amity and friendship, the bond of marriage uniting them. The watchword here is friendship. Why? Because until the wife becomes a friend, she will not be able to bring her husband back to perform what is good for his well-being and wean him from the path of unrighteousness. A marriage gets into trouble only if the couple does not become true friends. Now the Sapta-Padi. The meaning of the ritual Sapta-Padi is contained in the bridegroom's implied assertion that he accepts her in the first circle in order that she may look after his household property. Thus, enthused after stepping out into the first circle, the bride expresses her pleasure by thus, "You have kept under my care whatever wealth and delicious food you have in your house, so that I may truly serve your parents, sister, and other kinsfolk." Then the bridegroom replies, representing Vishnu here, "I, the bridegroom, ask you to step into the second circle. In every work performed by a householder, what is required is lustiness or mainly vigor. In order to strengthen myself, I request you to step out a second time." Aware of the honor given her by the bridegroom, the maiden thus speaks to herself, "This husband of mine now looks upon himself as stronger than ever before. I will therefore be respected in my father-in-law's family." Thus delighted by the bridegroom, the bride expresses her satisfaction respectfully as follows: "While nourishing your family, I will make its foundation sturdier and even be sweet-tongued, never uttering a single biting word. In adversity, I will be forbearing. In your happiness, happy, and in your unhappiness, unhappy." The bridegroom then replies, "I ask you to step into the third circle for greater prosperity. In other words, I, your husband, who is for you an embodiment of Vishnu, request you to enter the third circle with the express purpose of making you the mistress of my property. Hearing this, that she has now become the mistress of her husband's property, the bride in her exultation expresses her third vow. The monthly course over, I will bathe and purify myself and then indulge in sex play only with you, never admitting any other person into my mind. On hearing this, the bridegroom said, I, your husband, who embodies Vishnu, now ask you to step into the fourth circle for our mutual happiness. Thus honored and contemplating that the speaker in love with her is none but her own husband, the bride expresses the following resolve. All my adornments, the vermilion mark, the 16 kinds of makeup with flowers and the like, or gold jewelry and clothes perfumed with sandal, etc., will be to please you and for our mutual flirtations and dalliance. Hearing these words, the bridegroom thus answers, I, your husband, who personifies Vishnu, request you to enter the fifth circle for the well-being of my cattle. Cattle here symbolizing property. The bridegroom further says, you are the mistress of all my wealth and of everything I possess. Hearing this, the bride is assured of her husband's love and resolves to help him grow more prosperous, because good deeds always yield good fruit. Expressing her joy, she utters her fifth resolve. My friends and I will always jealously worship Gauri for your well-being, and I will always be devoted to you. To this, the bridegroom thus replied, I, in form of Vishnu, want you as your husband to step out into the sixth circle for the pleasure of the 6 seasons. Hearing this, she expectantly thinks that her husband is all too willing and ready to let her enjoy the pleasures of all the 6 seasons. Overjoyed, she says to herself that virtuous deeds seldom go unrewarded, and then, assuring him of her unwavering dutifulness, utters the following vow. Wherever you are, performing sacrifices or making oblations with fire or giving alms, I will be there to serve you and render you all possible help. The bridegroom then says to the bride, O friend, I, your husband, and symbolically Vishnu, request you to carry out my bidding here as well as in all the 7 spheres, that is lokas. May you thus be famed for your fidelity, righteousness, and modesty. May you be favorably disposed to me, says the bridegroom prayerfully, and be renowned in all the lokas for your right conduct. The emphasis here is on the loyalty to the marriage vow, or on chastity being the greatest of all the virtues possessed by a woman. Thus honored and encouraged by her husband, the bride, radiant with joy, expresses her feeling the 7th time. O Kulottam, the best in your ancestry, considering that all the gentlemen and ladies present here are witnesses to our marriage, and that you became my husband at this ceremony performed strictly in accordance with Vedic injunctions ordained by Brahma, my joy knows no bounds. Thus ends the 7 vows taken by the bride and the bridegroom during the marriage ceremony. I hope tomorrow, Karwa Chauth, these vows will remind you of your duties towards each other.
Now, before we end today's special Karwa Chauth broadcast with another appropriate Karwa Chauth song, my co-host Shalini, I, and the entire Bhajanawali.com team wish all the best to the women and men observing this very difficult Karwa Chauth fast, and special compliments to the men. May Mata Parvati bless you all in successful completion of your fast and fulfillment of the objectives of the fast. Happy Karwa Chauth.